Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody? I have had like an unorganized summer, and if any of you know me, I am I am far from unorganized. But I don't know. I'm just having a little vacation, unorganized, kind of fly by the seat of my pants summer. So all is good. I am Brenda Hillard, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and welcome to episode number 405 of Copy and Create with Brenda. I am going to wait just a few minutes for people to hop on. I know we'll have people joining us. So, and it's not quite 9 o'clock, but I just wanted to make sure that my streaming program was going to be all good at 9 a.m. So it looks like everything's working. I just want to check my Facebook. And yes, it looks as though I am live, so all is good. You all are good and are enjoying your summer. I've had a bit of company through the summer, which has been good because I haven't been able to do that the past few years, um, just due to my husband being ill, and I don't know, both of us just weren't for entertaining. So, anyway, I'm glad to be back. I have missed all of you and our Saturday mornings and our little cups of coffee, right? So let me see what we've got. I'm just going to refresh quick light. And here we go. And I can see that people are on. I'm going to switch down. Well, let me tell you a couple of things. Don't forget that and all of this month you've been able to do it's the DSP sale. And it's all of the DSPs that are in the annual catalog. I'm going to flip down here a minute. So annual catalog being missed, any of the DSP, the best way to go through and look at DSPs is to use your index in your catalog. All the designer series papers are listed here, and it gives you the page numbers that they're on. Okay, so your index is your friend with the um, May 2024 to April 2025 annual catalog. The mini catalog is coming, and my pre-order should be here on Monday. Monday or Tuesday. I don't know. It's hard to tell these days with how things are delivered. But anyway, I'm excited for that. If you have placed an order with me, hey, good morning, Nancy. If you have placed an order with me within the last year, you should be receiving your catalog in the mail. If you don't receive your catalog by September 1st, please contact me and I will get one mailed out to you. Catalog actually starts on September 4th, and I'm being kind of secretive here because I'm not 100% sure that I can show the actual cover yet, but I think I can, and it's super cute, and so I can't open it. I know that, but I can show you the cover. All right, enough about that, but DSP is on sale till the end of the month, so check that out. I did send out a newsletter this week, so you can get all the details there, and I listed out the paper and the pricing too, so check that out. All right, here we go. So as I told you in the description, I have kind of a fun project for us today. It's going to probably be a little bit longer than normal. I tried to work ahead on as many of the cards as I could, but what this is about. It's called a one sheet wonder. And if you aren't familiar with those, there's lots of one sheet wonders out there. Um, just as all you have to do is just search one sheet wonders and you'll see all kinds of templates and ideas. But I really liked this one because you do not waste one single piece of your 12 by 12 sheet of paper. And with one 12 by 12 sheet, you can you get 10 full A2 cards. So that's kind of cool. Not even kind of, it's really cool. Let me show you the paper that I picked. It's called Wildly Flowering, and it's these big, bold prints, and they're absolutely beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And that's how I went about this is I picked a pattern that had a coordinating um, backside because our designer series papers are two-sided, right? So I wanted one that had coordinating paper on the backside. Most of them do, but I just wanted to make sure that if you aren't using Stampin' Up! 12 by 12, make sure that you have one that has a coordinating back or that you have some coordinating cardstock. Okay? It's how I picked my colors is on the back of each of the paper packs. It will tell you all of the coordinating colors. So this one in particular is Crumb Cake, Early Espresso, Misty Moonlight, Moody Mauve, Mossy Meadow, and Wild Wheat. So with what I picked for my coordinating colors or my cardstock colors is I went with Crumb Cake. I used Early Espresso, Misty Moonlight, and then on some of the cards I threw in a pop of the Wild Wheat. Okay, so let's cut our designer series paper first. And it's not hard, but you just have to follow it step by step. And I think you can see this okay. But it's what I'm going to do is I'm putting my paper in and I'm going to cut a 4-inch strip. So I'm going to do 4 inches and cut. Just lay that over here. Then I'm going to move it over to 3 inches and cut. And then I'm going to move to 2 inches. So 4, 3, 2, and then 1 3/4. And then we have this piece that measures 1 1/4. That's what's left, okay? All right, so now we're going to turn our paper this way. And I'm going to take that 4-inch strip, the one we did, and I'm going to cut that at 3-inch increments. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are our 4 by 3-inch strips. Now I'm going to take the 3-inch strip and I'm going to cut that at 4-inch increments. So 1, 2, and then 3. So those are our 3 by 4. And I'm going to take the 2-inch strip and I'm going to cut that at 1.5-inch increments. So I'm going to do 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. Quit saying. And this part is really quite boring, but I really did want to show you just exactly how this works. Okay, so now we have our 8. So I have 4 here and 4 here. So I have 8 1.5 by 2-inch pieces. Then I'm going to take our 1 3/4, I'm sorry, and I'm going to cut this at 5 1/4 So 5 1/4, and then I'm going to cut it at 5 1/4 again. So I have two pieces that measure 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. And don't throw this away. We have to save this little piece, okay? As I told you, there's no um there's no waste on this at all. So now this is my 1 1/4 inch strip, and I'm going to cut that at 5 1/2, 5 1/2, and we're not throwing this away either. You need to save that. We'll be using it. So there's all of our pieces from the 12 by 12 sheet of paper. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. It looks like we have got some people on. I don't see people chatting in or saying good morning. So if you're out there and you'd like to say good morning, please do. All right. Our next step. So is what I have is I'm referring to this as card layout number 1 or card A. Okay. And card A is going to yield 2 cards. So is what I've done is I have picked out my 2 card bases. I used crumb cakes, so I'm just going to fold those. And this one's really fairly quick, fairly easy. But this is what I love about this one sheet wizard. So we're going to take 2 pieces of our 4 by 3 inch, okay? And we're going to be putting that on a layer of early espresso that measures 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. So it's just 1/4 inch bigger than our DSP. Right? So I need 2 of those, just like that. And then I have 2 strips of Misty Moonlight. Because remember I told you I picked out my color palette based off the coordinating colors listed on the back of the designer series piece of paper. So I have these 2 strips of cardstock that measure 2 inches by 5 1/2 inches. All right, let's assemble these, and then I think you'll get an idea of what we have going through. So I'm going to add my adhesive first to my 2 strips. Let me grab my adhesive here. Sure, let's have one low on. There we go. I'm just going to add my adhesive. And I'm just going to put that like right across the center of my card base. This particular card is going to be in the landscape orientation. Okay. And I do see that I do have a little bit of overage here. So when that happens, I take my paper snip and I just go right along the edge of my card base. And you can get rid of just that small little piece, right? Let's do the same thing to this one. Got my other card base. Put that in the center again, or close to the center. I'm not a measurer, so I just eyeball things most of the time. All right, then I'm going to add adhesive to our 4 by 3 inch piece of designer series paper. So there's that, and let's do the same here. When I was picking out like what sentiments to use for these cards, I went for a stamp set that's kind of like the, and I know you all have them, and if you don't, I can help you get one. But you know how we buy those stamp sets that just are like all like an assortment that covers everything. So I've got the let's celebrate, thinking of you, thank you, happy birthday, birthday wishes, just a note, hello, miss you. So I decided to use Simply Said, which is that versatile um, sentiment stamp set. I've got both of these on there now, and I am going to pop these up on dimensionals because if you join me, you know I love dimensionals. They're just my thing. I go through thousands of them. No lie. Just taking that little adhesive backing off from the strip, and then I'm going to mount this up on my parchment. And remember, I said they're in landscape mode. Oh, Mary Manlick, good morning. Geez, that's a first. Hey, Debbie, are you at? Uh, oh no, you said it's raining. Raining in Lino Lake. Well, it was raining here this morning, and then it looked like it was going to clear off and be a beautiful day to float in the lake. And now the sun is kind of hiding again. So I'm not really sure if it's made up its mind what it's going to do today. All right. So then I'm going to take this piece, do the same thing, just kind of center it on my card front. I had used some of my circle punches, some current, some retired. Um, these both are current. So, stamped the birthday wishes from Simply Said right here using early espresso ink on basic white, and then punched a piece of early espresso. So I'm just going to put this on, layer them up, and again, I'm going to put them on with the This is love One Cute Wonder. Debbie. Yeah. Hey. Oh, Mary, you're funny. Says she joined Facebook just for me. Oh, man. All right. Well, I'm going to put this on. Same thing, just centering it on the circle. I'm going to add some of my dimensionals. And move on. I hate to cover up that flower, but I will. All right. So there's layout number one. Now, granted, this is not finished. It needs to be embellished, but we'll go back later and I'll show you some other samples, okay? Because we still have, what, 8 cards to put together. So I'm going to set card A, so layout number one, sample A, whatever you want to call it. I called it A. Um, we'll go to B. This also makes 2 cards, and they look like, or you need, I have 2 pieces of card bases that measure 5.5 by 6.25, and I have them scored at 4.25. These are a fun fold. So I'm just going to fold them over and give them a crease with my bone folder. So we have this kind of look. One flap is going to be short, okay? I have 2 pieces of Misty Moonlight, and these measure 3.25 by 4.25, so just um, a 1/4 inch bigger than our DSP. And we are going to be using 2 of the 3x4s, okay? So um, have those here. And then I have 2 pieces of crumb cake, and this is an insert for our card. So 5 1/4 by 4 inches. All right. I'll put a diagram on the um, in the description on my YouTube channel, so that if you want that layout, it'll take me a little bit to put it together, but I'll put it together. This is the lovely label punch. I punched it out of crumb cake. I stamped "Thinking of You" in early espresso, and I purposely moved it off to the right side. I didn't want it centered because I wanted to leave a little bit of room for my embellishment. And then I also punched 2 out of the early espresso. So you've probably seen this before. It's nothing new, but it could be new to you. So that's why I like to share these. I'm just going to cut these in half, just random. And then it's what I like to do is just take a little bit of adhesive and I can extend these, giving them a little bit richer look or more of a layered look that makes them on my card. So they look like that. Oh yeah, you can always catch up later. That's no worries. And then you guys know too that if you miss the whole thing, you can come back to Facebook. It's on there. And also you can always go out to my YouTube channel and I list all the supplies and dimensions and all of the good stuff following the live. It does take me a little bit to put it together, but I get it there and probably, I don't know, probably within an hour after I'm done with the live. So now I've layered these up. You can see it better, I think, if I lay it down. Let's go ahead and put the insert inside our card. I'm just going to center this on the bigger piece of our card base. Like I said, you can do this with any piece of 12 by 12 paper. It does take a little bit to think out your layers, so that you aren't layering the same color on top of the same color, but it's not hard by any means. So don't let that don't let that bother you. All right. So for this card, I need 2 of the 5 1/4 by 1 3/4 inch strips. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover up this beautiful flower paper. Can you tell I hate to put the flowers side down or to cover them up? But you know what? It's worth it when you see the finished product. So this strip just centers on the top of our card, like that. We'll do the same thing here. And there we have it. Let's bring in our other pieces of designer series paper. And these, again, I'm just going to put on our layer of Misty Moonlight. Opening 16 my piece of cartridge is not wanting to roll out like I'd like it to roll out. Okay, so our next step here is we're going to center this on our card like so. So can you see what I've got going on here? I don't want to go outside because I want this to be a fun fold. So what I'm going to do, and I just eyeballed that, I'm going to put on the edge And now when I center it in, I'll show you on the next one another way to do it. But I'm just going to center this in like so. Okay. And then we have our little sentiments to add in as well. And those I will use dimensions. So let me show you another way to glue on that front here in just a minute. Okay. So like I have to see what people are saying. Good morning, Candy. All right. So here's another way to do this. You can just put adhesive on this edge. You see that's how we've got it set up. And we can put adhesive on this edge. And then we don't have to worry about having any glue over the edge. That's going to make it difficult for us to open it apart. All right, let's put some more dimensionals on here. Oh, that's a lot of dimensionals. How many people have taken advantage of the Designer Series paper sale? That's what I want to know. So there's what I'm calling layout number 2 or layout B, card B, whatever, however you want to look at it. And remember, I do not have this embellished yet, okay? But I will be showing you some more cards at the end that I use that I put together with embellishments using a different Designer Series paper. Okay, here we go. This is going to be, this is just one card, all right? One card for this layout. So I have my crumb cake base, and I have some layers here. So the GSP that we need is the, let's see, the 1 3/4 by 1 1/2 inch piece. We just have this one little piece, remember? So we're going to take that and put it on a layer of 1 3/4 by 2. So it's going to look like this. Then we're going to layer that up on a layer of early espresso that measures 2 1/4 by 2 1/2. Put up like, as long as you don't press down hard, you get just that quick minute to reposition. And then I'm putting this all up on a layer of Misty Moonlights that measures 2 1/2 by 2 3/4. Hopefully you're hanging in there with me. I know this is a lot of cards, but I do really love a good one sheet wonder, and I feel like this is a good one. So now we've got this piece or this focal piece, right? I'm going to add some dimensionals to back. You see me get all crazy there for a minute? And then before I actually put this on, I want to stamp my card front. And is what I have is the happy birthday, this one, just the line. And I'm going to stamp that using earliest. So I kind of want to eyeball, oops, where I'm putting this in. And then right down here in the center, I can state my happy birthday. Let's fold this back up so we can get it centered nicely. I see that I have got ink on my fingers, so I'm going to take care of that before I have it all over my foot. I'm going to put this right on front. All right, so there is our third layout, our fifth card. So we're halfway done. And remember, we have to embellish here, so don't get alarmed. All right, moving on to our fourth layout, or our D. I've got switched it up. I put some wild wheat. And a lot of people don't like this color, and I kind of have to agree. In the beginning, I wasn't a fan. This is just a one card as well. And for this one, that's all we're going to do. You guys, this is basic beige. Isn't it awesome? Let me hold up to a piece of basic white so you can see the difference. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. But it it looks so rich and so creamy. But it is, I will not lie, a little bit tricky to add in. And I started to really like it with basic white, and this card will be a good example of that. So I've got my card base, right? And this card is going to be in portrait. I'm going to center this on. My basic base piece measures 3 3/4 by 5. And I have another piece of cardstock that measures 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, because we need one of our 3 by 4 inch pieces. And this is our last 3 by 4 inch piece. So I'm just going to take this and add it to our wild wheat. Guys, how cool does that look on wild wheat? I don't know how well the color, but definitely need to. Yes, definitely need to. Nancy, the sale ends August 31st. So yeah, it's a great time to stock up, and especially with the holidays coming right around the corner, be sure to look at those papers and see if they'll work for a pattern, if there's patterns that work for Christmas cards, or even just fall that grateful, Thanksgiving, thankful theme. All right, so now I'm going to be putting this on here. Which, how cool does that look? Is it not just like rich looking? I think so. All right, I'm going to put on my dimensionals, and I can hear my little Emmy dog barking. And probably the squirrel, because I'm not expecting anybody. I'm trying to center this, right? And then I did circles, and I was trying to decide. So I ended up wanting to use all three of my colors. So I have the wild wheat, basic beige, and misty moonlight in the circle. So I have a 1 inch circle, and a 1 1/4, and then I have a 1 3/4. And I really like how that looks on here. I just thought it brought in all of the colors. I just have a little bit of paper fringe or fray or whatever you want to call it. All right, I'm going to add this with dimensionals also. Oh, you guys, I'm sorry if you hear her barking. Once she gets on a chair, we can stop now. Okay, so there's that one. All right, so where are we at? We are over halfway. We have 4 cards left. Oh, you know what I forgot to do on this one? Hold on, hold on. I thought this was genius. So you see this little scrap, right? Watch this. You fold it in half. I'm going to give it a crease with my bone folder. And I'm going to give credit to the person that I saw with this general, the One Sheet Wonder pattern came from her. But of course, I used different paper and I changed the layer. Okay. So did you see what I just did in there? Folded that piece of paper, tucked it in behind, glued it down, and now it became like a tab or a ribbon embellishment. I love, love, love that little piece. What do we have? I don't hear any oohs and ahs out there. Remember, I haven't embellished anything yet, so we'll get. All right, so there's our one-off card for our 4th or layout D or whatever you want to call it. All right, moving on. This is our 5th layout or card E. And it's what I have again are 2 crumb cake card bases. This card is going to be in the landscape mode. And it's how I determined that is you see my 2 pieces of 3 or 4 inch by 3 inch that I have left. The pattern on my flowers goes in this direction. And so that's how I want this to be. I guess you could if you wanted to. Um, hmm. So here's how I was going to layer it up, and I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I think I made a mistake here. Oh, we'll see. I did. I did not want these on crumb cake. I wanted them on. Let's see if I got it mixed up with the other one. I don't know. All right. Let's try using the Misty Moonlight card base instead. So I'm going to fold. I'm going to fold. Okay. And did you see what happened there? Because we're using the last of these 5.5-inch strips, I want to use this side of my paper. And with crumb tape, there just wasn't enough contrast there. I didn't like this on top of it. So I'm just switching it up. I'm going to add my adhesive to my strip. Kind of surprised this didn't happen more with the wrong card bases because it was okay. So now I've got this on and I've got maybe a 1/2 inch over here. You can put it closer too. Maybe on this one, I'll just move that one over a little bit closer and see how that looks. Again, I'm covering up those beautiful flowers. It'll be worth it. You'll see. Put this on. This one I'm going to put a little bit closer and just see what the difference is. All right. So again, those were our 1 1/4. Yeah, my 1 1/4 inch strip by 5 1/2. And now let's put our layers together here. I hope I did this right. I feel like I messed something, but maybe not. All right, just putting this down. On the early espresso. And again, all of these layers are just 1/4 inch bigger than our designer series paper. So this one is actually 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. And then this is the layer though that's the little piece that I wanted to make this pop is 1/8 of an inch. So that one actually measures um, just the 4 3/8 by 3 1/8. So you just get that tiny little white border. And if all I wanted was just enough to make it pop on our card base, okay? So now again, this one, we are going to center it um, just so that we get enough of, so this border and this border are about the same, okay? But isn't that pretty how it just like pops it right off the paper? Miss being on Saturdays. I know, Ginger. I have missed doing Saturdays as well. It's just that as many of a lot of you know that my husband passed away. It'll be a year in September. And this year has just been kind of a, how do I want to say, like lots of changes. And I'm just navigating a little bit differently. And so it's hard for me to be consistent right now. But I'm getting there. And not to worry. I love stamping. I will be back. Um, it's just taking me a little bit to get back on track. So that's what I found is this is from the oh, I forgot. It is from the Unbounded Love dies. And with what I wanted to tell you is it's kind of this set is just plain crazy because when you look at the dies, like this die not only cuts out the crumb cake piece, but it cuts out this little frame too. So what I did is I cut it once in crumb cake and then once in early espresso. So let me find those little pieces because I saved them. So you get this little frame like this. So if I wanted to put a white frame on there, I could have. I decided to stay with my early espresso. But isn't that cool how you can kind of, it frames them is what it does. And it's what I've been doing to keep them together because these are so thin. It's really hard to glue them. And it feels a little bit like a waste to use the adhesive sheet. So what I do is I lay them down, I fit the piece in, and then I just take adhesive tape and to hold them in. I can see it just a little piece there, but I love how these look. So what I'm going to do is put some dimensionals on the back. Of course I am, right? And I'm just going to add my sentiment. I think I like it over here toward the right. Okay, so let's put this other one in. Just have some layers to put that in my early espresso, and then put it on my basic white layer with just a teeny tiny border. And then we'll add that to my circle. And again, I want that little bit of paper showing there. So just like that, some dimensionals on our sentiment. And we have just one more layout, two more cards. So this is 8 cards that we've done out of our one sheet of 12 by 12 designer paper. Now remember, I haven't embellished these. I'm just doing the layout, right? You love the color combos, Ginger? I really love this paper. I just think it's so pretty. It's just like one of my favorites. Okay, so there we have that layout, and here we go with our last two colors. Okay, so we're gonna try this and see how it works because I think I messed up just a little bit on our colors, but we'll see if this works. Whoopsie, grab the little piece. Give me a minute. So here's what we have for this one. We have two card bases. This is going to be in a landscape mode as well. And I've got two pieces of basic white, and these measure 4 and 3/8 by 3 and 3/8. I have early espresso that measures 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. And then I've got our 8 pieces of designer series paper. So I want 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Ooh, I kind of like those flowers. I have to get over the flower thing, I think, but to each our own. All right, so let's start by layering this up. And is what I'm going to do on the early espresso layers is I am going to use liquid glue for this. And I'm going to put this down so that I have an equal border on the top on the left side. And then I'm going to take my next piece and I'm going to flip that over and use the reverse side. And again, I'm just going to make sure that the borders are the same. My next piece. Down. And then our next. The back side of this kind of looks like to me like a linen or like a fine weave, like a burlap almost. Not as coarse as. So there's our first. Let's do our next one. Luann, thank you. I'm glad you love the cards. And like I said, there's a ton of one sheet wonders out there that you can look up. Um, the thing I loved about this is not one, not one scrap to throw away. And I don't know about you, but I don't know. Sometimes my scraps get a little out of control. You always save them, and then sometimes you use them, and sometimes you just keep saving them, and then eventually you have to clean out your scraps. Great. So now I've layered that on that piece of base plate, and this did work out well. I was worried that I had the wrong card bases, but I just got them switched around when I was prepping for my live. Okay, so now those are up on the basic white. And now I want to put these with dimensionals onto the card base. You guys, I'm so happy. I was worried that because I hadn't been consistent with that I was going to lose all my stamping friends on Saturday mornings, and I'm not. I've got a good group on, so thank you. Thank you, thank you for being patient with me. I'm going to put this on my plum cake card base. This is really pretty. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if the colors are showing up well on the camera, but um, just that little bit of white edge on there really makes a difference here. All our little back shots right on the front. And now for these, all right. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking I'm going to circle on there. I've got all these rectangles and all the pretty colors. What do I want on there? But I still couldn't quite decide. So do you know about the coordinating dies that are happening now with Paper Pumpkin? If you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, every quarter they come out with a new set of dies. And this is from last quarter. So I'm not really sure that it's still available, but I absolutely loved this die set. So you got a label that looks like this, a stitch label. Then you got a butterfly outline with like the filigree inserts that fit together. Again, this is just so pretty. And then there was this word thanks. So that's what I'm using right now on our card. And again, I couldn't decide, so I cut out two of the blue, which I feel like blue blends in, or of the misty moonlight. I feel like it blends in too much there, so I'm not going to use those. I cut out some early espresso, but I don't like that either because I feel like the um, borders around our squares take away from it. So I went to white, and I like the white the best. I just think it's hot. You know what, Nancy? They are very easy to recreate. The only thing that the only thing I'm going to say is they do take a little bit of time when you're putting up your layers. And I'll show you here. Like I said, I promised I would show you the other set that I have to share that I use. This I'm just gluing them. I love these. Love them. putting some magnets down to hold it down until the glue dries. All right, let me get stuff cleared off here, and I'm going to show you the others that I have to share with you. With another pack of paper. I'm just going to move these off a little bit. And here we go. So let's see if I can do these in any kind of order. I don't know if I can or not, but I'm going to try. So the paper that I use is out of the annual catalog, and it is on sale, is the Countryside Inn. And Countryside Inn is really, truly one of my faves. And the reason being is I love navy blue and white. It just, I don't know, there's something so crisp and so fun about that card. But here are the two that I did with the Countryside Inn. Here are the two that we did today. And embellishments. So is what I was thinking about for these embellishments is there's a couple of things. And I'm not really sure, like I said, I really didn't get that far, but I will share with you, um, a little bit about what I was thinking about on this, if I can find them quickly. So what I was looking for is, I got the brass butterfly or the, what are they called? That are, I believe, still available in on the online exclusive. It's become very hard to keep up with what is where, but don't despair. It's not that bad. So here's what I was thinking. There's these beautiful dragonflies and birds. And so I thought that I would just try, maybe birds are the better to put a couple of these as an embellishment on there. And I feel like for that one, enough, right? Donna agrees with the white. Love the white. Yeah, I know. I know. We'll come back to that card in just a minute. So this was a good um choice. I'm gonna do a couple swooping birds up there and one down here. And that little bit of brass just helps pull in the color there too. So Countryside Inn, and then this was the Wildly Flowering. And for this one, I decided to use the layering leaves with the punch, just to make some embellishments here and here. And I don't know if I'll do that here or not. The thing that I think of when I see this is linen thread. So I may add some linen thread to these yet. All right, there's A, right? So our two cards there. Then let's bring in our B, which is this one. Okay, so on this one, I actually went in a landscape mode. And this one, I decided to do in a portrait mode. Now this one I feel like needs more than just the birds and dragonflies. Let's try it. Yeah, I don't feel like it shows up very well. So I'm going to wait on embellishing these, but I just wanted you to see it with the um, countryside in and then the wildly flowery. And then let's go with, I think the next one was just a one-off, right? We had just the Let's Celebrate, and that's with the countryside in. And then this is the wildly flowering. And this definitely needs embellishments. So I will work on embellishing that later, but I wanted you to see a finished card. And then our next one. So here's the countryside in. This is layout 4. And then this is the other. And I think this one we could get by with just some birds on that, on the basic base. I like, right? And then we go to the next layout. All right, so I have to stress up here. This sentiment on here is not from Stampin' Up. But I was doing some other cards and I found this sentiment and I loved this for a sympathy card. So it just says, what we have once enjoyed, we can never lose. All that we love deeply becomes a part of us. And then on the inside, I'm just going to do a with sympathy. So there's that one in the countryside in. And then here's the one we did today. And again, I'm going to wait on embellishing that one because I have the sentiment stamped on the gum cake and I don't like the brass embellishments on there. So here's the countryside in, and then here's the wildly flowering. And I am going to wait to embellish this as well because, like I said, this to me kind of screams some linen thread and that kind of finish on there. So there you have it, you guys. 10 cards with one 12 by 12 sheet of, let's do this. I'm going to flip back up. Thank you again for joining me and stopping back. It's good to see all of you. I love all the comments, and I will see you next Saturday at 9 a.m. Bye for now.